Okay, so in my last video, I was talking about a Leanna K video in which she was talking about these different controversies or so-called controversies surrounding Horizon Forbidden West. Previously on Saladino. But yeah, so on the thing I didn't mention was that the two controversies were on opposite sides of the culture war. So you have my side, the extreme, hateful, bigot side. The review bombers who were angry that Aloy looks like a man now, or she's just not attractive, whatever. So those people who were complaining about that review bombing the game. So that's that side. The other side is the SJW side. And I guess this was headed by Anita Sarkeesian. I don't even know how big a deal this really was. I did see someone else talk about it before Leanna K did. Somebody mentioned it. I ignored it because I've always disliked Anita Sarkeesian. I always thought she was full of crap, that she's not really a gamer, she's not really into this stuff, and her complaints are truly like she has mental problems, like she has mental health issues. I remember the Mandalorian one where you have the girl Boba Fett's, and you could tell they're girl Boba Fett's, and they have the boob armor, and she tweeted about being angry that the armor was designed to show that these women had boobs. And, she doesn't care. She doesn't care about this shit. For one, she's trying to pretend that there's no difference between genders. She's sex negative, so she doesn't want any kind of hint of anything that would be sexy or attractive. And she's not even, she doesn't care that obviously the reason why the Boba Fett girls look like Boba Fett women, where they have boob armors and stuff, is just to signal to the audience that they are women. They don't have like a potato sack outfit or a potato sack like armor piece that pretends they have no boobs or anything. And again, they always pretend that the reason why they can make these complaints, realism, and if the armor is shaped to look like her boobs, she could get hurt. The story is going to be written in such a way where that won't be an issue. If the character is not going to be killed, she's not going to be killed. I doubt anybody who writes a story with these Boba Fett women are going to write a scene where one of them gets shot in the boob armor, and then another character says, well, you shouldn't have worn the boob armor. That's what's killed you. Fucking idiots. So anyway, I saw the tweet. Or I saw the quote tweet from Anita Sarkeesian where she goes, why is this still happening? So this Inspector Beans apparently was complaining about the tribal aesthetic of the game. I don't know what they said because their tweets are protected. And I don't know if they started protecting their tweets before making whatever complaint they made about Horizon Forbidden West, or after people started dragging their ass. I like to think it was because they were getting their ass dragged. But probably people didn't pay attention to them. So Anita Sarkeesian, all SJWs always go, why is this still happening? It's hilarious to me when they say stuff like, we've been complaining for years about this thing, and yet people are still doing it. Yeah, it's because they're ignoring you. They don't give a shit. And I think it's going to hopefully this shit is going to start correcting itself more and more over the next few years. But anyway, in the thread, after she says, why is this still happening? And you can't see exactly the tweet. She has the thread where she goes, I worked on a game recently where I brought in an indigenous consultant. The developers used artifacts from several different tribes interchangeably. It was a mess. Hire consultants. We will catch this stuff. And hopefully you will learn to stop including this racist nonsense. So, if she cared about games, Anita Sarkeesian, she would have played Horizon Zero Dawn first. And then she would be playing Horizon Forbidden West now. But she doesn't care about games. I'm sure there's probably a scene of her playing Horizon Zero Dawn at some point. Somebody's got a clip footage of her supposedly playing it because it's a female lead. And she probably played it to show that, oh, this is good. She's not sexualized. But she didn't pay attention to the story. She didn't complete the game. She doesn't care that This is like, what, 3,000 years in the future or whatever. Clearly, there's robot dinosaurs running around. Clearly, there is no consultant in existence today that you need to hire to tell you the history and story of these made-up tribes. They take from Celtic culture, Mayan culture, Inuit, Native American, a ton of them. These are all made up. They have a similar aesthetic, a similar look to these real-life tribes or whatever, but it's not real. There's no one who can be hired for this. And it's not racist nonsense. It's just made up shit. Now, for me, I'm annoyed at all the black people and Asian people who are dominating the game. Fucking game looks like goddamn Wakanda. You know, everywhere Eloy goes, she's the only white girl there, and there's mostly black people. And like I said, some Asians, and that's basically it. There's some white people finally. In the store part of the game I have now, there's some good white people. Or better white people. They're kind of like comic relief. And I think it's funny because I know a lot of this is being done to turn the tables. Again, it's not equality. They're obviously in history, in media, where the black people were always bad. They were always stupid buffoons. They were always comic relief. Instead of just bringing up black people and making them better characters, they are now just flipping it and saying, now we're going to make the white people like that. It's going to be like the stupid Ouroboros. We just the snake eating its own tail because it's just not going to get anywhere. You know? So Anita Sarkeesian is very surface level. These SJWs are really surface level. To them, as long as Superman is black, that's good. Doesn't matter how people really relate to these characters. I'm black. I don't want to see a damn black Clark Kent. You know. If I'm supposed to believe that there's no difference between the races and the diversity is great, then I'm supposed to accept that Superman is white and he could represent the best in all of us and he doesn't have to look anything like me. How am I supposed to expect a white person to look at me as a black person if I have this SJW mindset? You know, how is a white, and it's not like this, but how are you supposed to teach a racist that there's nothing wrong with a black person because of by their appearance, if I'm supposed to believe that a white man is just by its nature bad? You know, your boy Zach always says this. He was talking about like comics. We talk about a lot of different things, but you know, he says that they've brought segregation back, SJWs. And it's funny how the SJWs always do that their causes, because it's surface level and because they don't really mean anything, and because the things that they're interjecting themselves into, they don't understand how those things really work and how people relate to them. They just make things worse, like the Greg Smallwood thing, the artist on this Electra Black and White series, where he's drawing these Asian men, women, and children, and standards and practices go behind him and alter his art to change the shape of these Asian characters' eyes. So they're offended by his accurate portrayal of Asian eyes and features. So when they change it, they make these people look like they are racist caricatures. So their fix actually destroyed everything. So for her to say, Sarkeesian, hire consultants so that you won't have racist tribes in a game set 3,000 years in the future where they have robot dinosaurs and all kinds of, like the new game, boy, like I said, when shit gets real, they've introduced something that's even further out there than that. And I'm like, man, I don't even know what to think about this. You know, this is really fucking crazy. Yeah, still playing the game though. I haven't finished it. And yeah. I'm not going to fly around all over the place this time. I think I will still try to do some kind of impressions review further into the game where it focuses more just on that and not all these cultural issues that surround it. But we'll see. I want to talk about Elden Ring at some point too. That'll probably be the first Souls game that I play. But the controversy surrounding that game is hilarious. But we'll get into that maybe some other time.